Hey guys, what's up? We're carrying on this series. Now I have a confession to make. I tried to make a speedrun video this morning, but I was so bad that I literally, I just had to can it and start again. I just wasn't awake and absolutely so. What the hell is going on here? Okay, I'm going to fianchetto to my bishop because that stops him from doing the same, right? I'm playing openings I don't know or understand. Okay, that's the general idea. This is like King's Indian attack, maybe kind of deal. My opponent's doing nothing really much to control the center. He's controlling it from the flanks. Okay, I think I can freely play pawn d4 now. I could play pawn e4 as well. That kind of gets in the way of his bishop, maybe also my bishop, but you know, if you can play both of these moves, why not play both of these moves? Look at that. That's pawn move number 4 out of 5 turns from my opponent. If I take here, he can take back with the queen. I don't really want that, but I can push on. That's an idea. I can play my knight out here so that if he takes, I can recapture the knight. That means I've got a nice developed piece in the center of the board. I can also push d3 so that if he takes, I can take with the d-pawn, but then we've got queens facing off. I don't really want... out of those options, I think I prefer the principal developing move. Opponent's rated 825. I'm currently rated 741. Okay, he's eyeing up my rook. I'm just going to put my rook on e1. Line it up with his king. Just, you know, the idea of like pushing d3 is possible, but then if he takes here, you know, I've just pinned my pawn. Why pin my pawn? And another pawn move. We've got a pawn at it, guys. Alright, now, you have to think about what happens if I take on there. Obviously, the queen can't take because knight takes, so this would be c takes. And if c takes, I can't take with a knight because queen takes knight. But we have opened up line towards the king, yeah? Alternatively, I can push forward. That I like that more, right? His king's in the middle of the board. My rook is also on the e-file. It just makes sense. Yeah, bash open the middle of the board and look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawn moves. He's developed one piece. Okay, I've developed 1, 2, 3, and I've castled. Right. So if you want a case study of why it's important to develop your pieces, hopefully this is going to provide it. Hopefully. Okay. Well, if I take here, this pawn now literally hangs because unless his queen takes back. Okay, queen didn't take back, so I can capture the pawn with check. Blocking with the queen doesn't work. Blocking with the bishop is more likely. I'm also kind of inclined to play d4 and pin this knight on the queen. I think that makes a bunch of sense. It is a free pawn though. Free pawn, bishop goes here. Can my knight threaten to come in as well then? I think so. I mean, I can always play queen e1. I can't play queen e2 because of this bishop, you know. And that, guys, is why we develop pieces, because they control the board, right? Can't play queen e2 because he's developed a piece. If he hadn't developed the piece, could have played queen e2. Oh, we have king movement. We have king movement. Okay, what do? Do I just come back? I don't know if I want to play that, but... And if this and then there... I don't know. Let's bring it all the way back. His position's already kind of just busted, right? I'm thinking d3 makes sense. Just, you know, make that bishop bad. It's a very easy way just to do that, and I'm also improving my own bishop. So, what's not to like? Also, I have knight e5 check. Knight e5 looks at this, which is defended once. d3. Very straightforward move. play that. I mean, it's definitely not a mistake. It stops his knight coming in here. Just blunts this bishop completely. Where's this bishop going to go? There. It's even worse. It's behind his own pawns there. Here, what was the point of bringing it out in the first place? There now, his knight controls that square. But another pawn move. Wow. I'm inclined to fianchetto this bishop, actually. This knight, where's he going to go? Let's start plotting a route for him. He can dive in here. That's, diving in here looks at that. That pawn's undefended. Hang on. No, where are we talking about? This. Bishop and queen. Yeah, I'd like to put them pressure. That puts some pressure on this knight, you see. So, okay, well, that was the move I was going to do anyway, and I might as well play it now to defend the knight. Okay, so I might now kick the bishop, put the question to the bishop. He can't retreat there. That's the bugger off back where it came from, or trade itself off, which is good for me because it's in a decent position. He's finally developed to a piece to a good square on move 14. Come on, now kick at a bishop. What are you going to do? You're going to trade, or you're going to run? Maybe he pushed that so that he could retreat there, but even still. Okay, he trades. I'm happy about that. So now this knight is actually pinned because behind it is a rook, which is of higher value. This might be playable. I now do have queen e2. King's the only defender of that. Rook's the only defender of that. Okay. I think I just need to engage my queen. I don't know where she wants to go yet, so I'm just going to connect the rooks. I might now then double up my rooks on the e file, put them on dark squares because there's only a light squared bishop. b4 is also a thought of a move, but if he does this, I'll just drop the bishop back probably. What am I talking about? If he does that, I just capture the pawn because I'm attacking it 3 times. Bishop, queen, and pawn. It's going to be a funny all day today. So I played absolutely pointless and ridiculous chess first thing this morning against players rated like 700, 800, and then I just beat a 1600 in 5-minute blitz with the Danish gambit. Okay, knight here I like because this pawn's just undefended, and that also comes with a major threat-a-roo. So, because I'll be forking queen and rook, and I'm also centralizing my knight. Okay, we have to recapture here. I'm going to recapture the rook. The reason is the queen's still looking at that, so he's now got 2 problems, all of his own making, and the reason is that he's just thrown his pawns out onto the board with blatant disregard for opening principles, and there's a load of stuff that's just not defended. That's not defended at all. Defended, defended, defended. Queen defends, queen defends. Oops. Queen defends, king defends, there, and that's not defended. So there's 3 pawns completely undefended here, and this one in particular is a major risk. Also, I have the option to dive my knight into here, supported by my rook, which hits the queen. So that puts these squares completely out of action for the king, as well as these ones. Nothing wrong with reminding yourself of these facts. Just load up on facts. What's that? What's that about? We had this conversation. I can't just take the pawn. I mean, is there no point diving in with that? Or he has to move his queen, he moves his queen, I take the rook, he takes my bishop. No point. I'm 2 pawns up right now. And I have the bishop pair, which is potentially useful in an ending. Okay. So he's got out of that one. He hasn't got out of this one though. Now notice that I can't check there because of this knight. I have this as well. That could be quite good. Just how to... I will just grab the pawn. That... just it controls some squares. Then I could even take out the knight, but he's got a spare knight or a queen that can capture and replace it. This bishop's still terrible. These knights are doing a reasonable defensive role, being around the king. Black is very, very glad for those. Why have you just moved that knight? What on earth are you thinking? Huh? This move is a fork. The knight has to go back. If I go here, okay, so that's out, 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 out. I don't know where he's going to go. He's going to go to probably f8. Probably f8. No, f8 is terrible because he gets a knight fork. So he has to come here. But that then walks into, also loses the queen. This is terrible. Okay, that loses the queen to this move. It's a double attack, right? I move that, capture a pawn, hit the queen, discover check, and it's all going to end in tears. Notice this bishop hangs, but it really doesn't matter too much right now. Actually, that's mate as well. Well, no, it depends. The rook takes. It's not mate. He's got this. Issue is he's in check now. Right? He's only got what, 2 moves? Nothing that can. Yeah, the knight could block. The knight could block. Or he plays king here or king here. Or that, oh yeah, that knight blocks. Interesting. So what do I do? Do I grab the queen? I think I just grab the queen. Keep it simple. Now the rook's no longer looking at my bishop, so that's all good. I can just simplify if I want to do that. I think we simplify. That bishop was on an undefended square. I have this too, potentially, but okay. Have a check. In a very, very strong position right now. I've got 7 pawns. I'd like to attack the knight. Don't know the best way to do it. Huh. There, king takes, queen takes here, that's check and I win his rook, yeah? So that actually wins a piece. And the only other legal move is that, which just fails. I think either of those probably mate. Okay, so this is now queen fork, yeah? And king can't block, so there's no way to save the rook's undefended, everything's just loose. You can go ahead and resign now. Because I'm threatening to come and grab this pawn as well, defended by the bishop. His awful bishop is still there. Okay, that doesn't help because that also loses the bishop. Not a great day out, but I think it is instructive. I mean, like I said, it was going to be, you know, unlucky. Good game. Go back to the start, right? So yeah, I played something just random. So that's 2 pawn moves, 3 pawn moves from black. I've already got castled, okay? So we're looking at king safety throughout the game. Fianchettos, not the end of the world. Now we start to contest the center. He puts his bishop here. Later on, I simply push d3. So this is like one of those one-move threats, saying I'm going to have a poke at your rook. Now, at certain levels, that will sometimes pay off. But all he's really done is just given me an incentive to improve my rook by putting it on e1. Okay, and we'll see the role of that rook later on. Now I push through the center, but why? Because he's not castled his king. He's on move 8. This is move 8. You can have castled your king, got all your minor pieces out into the board, got your queen off the back rank and connected your rooks in 8 moves, right? He is 1, 2 castles. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves off from completing development. Why? Because he's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawn moves in his first 8 moves. Six pawn moves and that, so I don't know what the other move was. Pawn move, pawn move, pawn move. Oh yeah, okay, right. No, I still don't get it. He's moved 6 pawns and 1 bishop in 8 moves, but he must have moved a pawn twice. No, he hasn't. Okay. Anyway, that's the way my brain's working today, or not. Okay, now his king moves. Right? And that rook would not have been able to do that if he hadn't done one move itis and attacked it and said, go on then, white. You know, I'm going to play this move. You should play that. Okay, so we just retreat the rook, and now d3. And then this bishop plays no further role in the game whatsoever until it dies and hangs itself. Okay? I decide to complete development. Again, one move threat, it's a pin, but it's not a good one. I kick the bishop, we trade off. Okay, I now have the bishop pair. My bishops are okay. This one's particularly good, pinning the knight. This one's just biding its time. Just connect my rooks, why not? Centralize, eyeing up a fork, trade off. Okay. In general, when you've got 2 rooks eyeing each other down the open file, nobody really wants to be the one to take, because so here I have the open file, he contests it, I improve my knight, now I have the open file again, and his queen can't go on it. You know, pointless. And why was I able to grab that? Just because he'd moved it, right? If it was still on h7, it would have been fine. Okay, so it really, really is a good example of these pointless pawn moves. Now I come in, and that's, you know, he just walks into... And the reason is because my pieces are controlling so many squares. If you look at this, right? The loose pawn, he's in check, and he can't get to any of these squares. So he's only got 2 options, and both of them are bad. This one falls to a royal fork. In fact, then he has to go here. No, it just gets worse, doesn't it? That is double check. He has to come back here. Oh, is that just mate? Yeah, it's mate. So it's a forced mate. Yeah, so it's absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. But yeah, go back to the start. Don't do this. Don't move all your pawns at the start. Oh, that's it. He moved the bishop twice. That's why. Right, I thought I was going mad there for a minute. He moves the bishop twice. He's breaking all the principles. Right? What should he have done? Pawn in the centre, knights out, right? Just do it normally. Even put your bishops here. get your king castled, and then you start playing chess. Then you start the tactics, right? This, I mean, moving a developed piece a second time, and then also why? Like, why put your bishop here at all? Why put your bishop behind a pawn, especially if you're only going to move it again? I'd have just left that bishop there. I think d5 here. d5, nothing wrong with that. You know? And then your bishop's got loads of ideas. So anyway, sounds like I'm being quite disparaging, and I am, you know? But players rated 800 odd. I don't think he played an 800 game. I think he played worse than that. See what the machine says. Does the machine give me free guess the ELO now? So is everyone getting guess the ELO? So it's no longer like a beta thing. Yeah, I don't think he played 800 rating. I think he played below. I played 76. He played 60. Really? Yeah, there you go. So it says it has me at 1000. If it knows I'm a 1500 and I play 76, it'll say you played 1500. But so it had me at 1000. He played 500, right? He played below his ability. But then that is also what happens when you play solid moves, right? The quicker you develop, the quicker you control the board, the fewer options that you give to your opponent, the harder it is for them to play good moves. But yeah, my opponent did himself no favours in that one. So there you go. Hope that was useful. Thank you for watching. See you soon.